Happy Friday, Buck fans. What's up? And that's right. It is a happy Friday. I get it. We should have gotten the game out of our system. So, again, thank you and welcome to Bucs Report, the Aftermath on 102.9, the Game Broad Street South Radio. It's your boy, AJ Turnup. Just because it's the bye week don't mean that we're not resting. Again, we're 4-6, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to talk shit. Here's a viewer discretion. We're not here to kiss the organization's ass. We love the organization. We are fans. But again, always, we are fans of football first, then this team. And we will love you and praise you when you do good, but we will hold you accountable if the ship ain't right. And right now, the ship is leaking, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of holes to plug. And if we do not do this, the ship is sinking. We got to get ready for next season. But right now, this is really all or nothing. We're gonna have to do historical shit, and we're here to talk about what can simply change. And we got Coach Slick right here, aka the British guys always fly. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. A little bit jet lagged, but I'm feeling good already. So let's get this bit on.
Yes, and look, we already got people saying it, guys. Look, it's no secret. Apparently, one of Joe Bucs did a survey. 81% do not believe in bowls, Slick. 81%. That's a big ass drop. But at this point, I can say for me, it's rightfully deserved, because right now he's not coaching like a champion. He's not coaching like a defensive-minded individual. He's not doing the things that brought us success before. And at this point, it's no excuse. The defense should be better, and yet it's getting worse. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, it's getting better with less. So there's a problem, and we're going to address it. So, Slick, you carry on. Go ahead.
I mean, like, I'm a big fan of defensive football because obviously being a defensive coach myself, I'm not going to say injuries, Bucs raise bolts, because injuries are not an excuse. What are we really missing? We're missing Savassier Dennis, and we're missing Jamal Dean. That isn't enough for me to turn around and go, wow, our defense is so short-handed, because it's not. Not anymore. We're ready to go. Now, unless Antoine Winfield's still harboring an injury and he's not playing himself, maybe. I don't know. I'm not privy to that information. But the fact of the matter is, we're not doing a whole lot on defense that's really keeping us in games anymore. Like, we'll have decent drives, and you think, oh, okay, we're doing it. And then when it comes to the critical parts, that's when we fucking drop the ball. We can do all the stuff in the middle. We can start well. We can start on fucking fire sometimes. And then it just turns to shit between the middle. And then at the end, we just kind of either we're trying to get back in the game or we just can't get into it. And he's the defensive guru. He should be blamed for the defense. There's no other way you can put it. You have to look at Coach Bowles and say, well, what are you doing to address the problems? There was a linebacker available that you could have got from the Seattle Seahawks that was a starter that's got 70-odd tackles already. Why didn't you look into that? Instead, we go and get a safety. I've got no problem bringing Mike Edwards. I'm a big fan of Mike Edwards, but we're not needing his skill set right now. We need a corner or a middle linebacker. If that's how I see our biggest problem. We need a solid coverage corner. It doesn't have to be great, just good. Just give me slightly above average. Right now, we've got Levante David, he's starting to look his age. He's not quite as fast as he once was. And that's okay. He's still good. He's just not great. We need somebody who's just good. Two guys are just good in the middle. That'll help us massively. But getting me a rotational fucking safety isn't going to make the difference unless you're planning on putting one of our guys into the nickel spot to help out with the coverage in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Aha. Guys, can I tell you something? Buck fans, and if Bowles continues to pull this shit, you're cooked. You're done. Look how many seconds that is, guys. That's also learning how to have clock management. You see that stupid shit right here? You know what that is, guys? That's called space and opportunity. And unfortunately, your beloved coach likes to play that shit, and that is how your team is losing.
Put that up. Put that back up again. Look at the time on the fucking clock. 41 seconds. I can't see the timeouts from here. I believe they got one. They got one timeout.
Yep, they only had one.
So that means even at this point, even if you allow them to catch the ball with 5 yards or you disrupt the pass or what have you, this is 1st and 10. Why are we giving up so much real estate to let them get into a position? They only need to get it to our 40 and it's over. The game is done, which means you're protecting about 10, 15, 20, maybe about 20 yards. Why would you give them a 7-yard, 8-yard head start? Where are your fucking safeties, dude? There's nobody else in intermediate coverage. I believe if I look at one side, they've got trips on one side. They got a tight end and a nasty wide receiver. They got a nasty slot and a wide receiver. All like kind of squished, all kind of squished and condensed. We have nobody to cover the intermediate sides. This was a sellout for pressure, hoping that they would get home. At this point, I would say have those guys with like your Levante Davids. Maybe I would probably still send KJ Britt because he's not going to do anything. He may as well just try and add some sort of pressure at this point. Having him drop back is going to be a waste of time. But there's nobody in this section here that's really going to make a play, which means you're just widening it. You're making the game wide open for them. Even if they catch that, they're going to get. It's going to be what minimum 2nd and 5, 2nd and manageable. Then I'd run the ball, so I've got now 3rd and 3 or something like that. Football 101, guys.
It's more than that. It's just.
Why are we playing
prevent? That's all it is.
Situation. I'm not saying play press. I'm not saying that. I know you're a huge fan of press, and I think it has its place. I'm not saying do that. Just play a bit fucking closer.
Oh, I'm saying play press. You want to know why?
I'm gonna bring this shit up because.
Well, you know why you play press?
It's fucking but playing off.
It's fucking Brock Purdy. It's Brock Purdy. Put pressure on his ass. It's Brock fucking Purdy. This isn't Patrick Mahomes. This isn't.
Knife Eli's got this. Has got this bang on because the whole point of pressure is to make a quarterback make a quick decision. Right? You're forcing him to hurry up his. If you're sending guys way back, that means he's got time because he's not going to see them be covered by anybody for at least a couple of seconds. Because they can't be covered by anybody because they're too far back. So in this situation, realistically, I could get the outside guy here. He could run an out route. The other guy could run a deep route, which will cause them to freeze up a minute. Now on the other side, I can do the opposite, like literally mirror image it, and then I could have the running back leak out. It's a slam dunk of a 5 yards, but if you play a bit condensed, they come down. Everyone comes down by at least 3 yards, minimum 3 yards. You come down by 3 yards on this, right? So these guys are at the 4 or they're at the 5.
Well, here's one thing. And coach, if I'm right, here's another great hypothesis. What if you apply enough pressure to where Brock gets desperate and he tries to throw it? If you're in the box, you could possibly get an interception. Mind you, you're going to be on your side of the ball, and you could go for the field goal and kick the win. That's all I'm saying. Pressure to me, I like putting pressure on the quarterback to allow the quarterback to make the quarterback hesitant to either throw it away, or if he eats the sack slick, then we go into overtime. And honestly, this is
game, the thing.
You
nailed it. You nailed it because if you play the corners a bit further down and play the safeties a bit further down, you play one of the linebackers further, that means you've got a lot of people in this intermediate area, the 5 yard or more area, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means there's going to be a lot more traffic. The more traffic there is, the more he's got to think. The more movement that there is around, right? But if you just sit off, because these guys, you send them off, guess what they have to do? They have to just stand there and read, which means they're not moving. So the quarterback knows where his guys are going to go. So if you've got guys just running fucking open routes, guess what's going to happen? They're going to catch balls 9 times out of 10. You're relying on your corners to rally down every fucking time when they don't need to. You're sending pressure on guys who have to you're sending pressure, and then the guys outside of it have to rally down. Whereas if you have them all kind of built up a little bit more into that 5-yard marker and that 40-yard marker in that area, slightly different placements, some at 3, some at 4, some at 5, whatever, some at 6. You have it all mixed up there. There's a lot of traffic and there's a lot of movement that he really has to think about what he's doing. You're giving him all the time to think. Yes, you're sending pressure, but you're giving him a clean field to look at. It's wide open.
Yeah. Wide open, and you're giving him time to readjust. And again, here's another thing, Slick. Buck fans bitch about, well, our backups aren't great. Okay, so you're going to put them in this type of situation, a backup that
nobody's backups great though, are they? Let's be fucking real here. Name me like fucking 5 corners in the league that are backups that are fucking great. They'd be on a fucking other team by now.
Exactly, and I think
no one would fucking trade for him. No one's fucking got a fucking all-star, superstar fucking cornerback that's just sat there going, twiddling his thumbs on fucking Twitter while the game's being played. They're all not at the same level, man. They're just not. That's the difference. Exactly. That's why you have starters and you have backups.
Exactly, and dude, please come on in here because I know you're ready to break the fourth wall and talk your shit. Guys, I think dude is going to come in with a story, and we're going to sit here and we're going to listen because right now, Bowles, I hope somebody from your organization is watching. This story is good. This is a real good story. So come on in, dude. And guys, dude. That's great.
Asking somebody's name.
I am not here to announce my departure from the airport. I'm here to talk some Bucs. I'm here to talk some Bucs football, boys. And was watching you guys break down that little screenshot there. I think that's where 99.999% of us Bucs fans are. Is like, look, dude, pressure creates diamonds. Okay, you're turning Brock Purdy into Joe Montana because you're sitting back on your heels asking not to be beaten. So let me tell you a story about how playing with this mentality doesn't work, and what playing with the opposite mentality, yes, will cause mistakes, but will ultimately come out in the wash as a success. Now, this isn't even football related, this story, but it ties directly to the edging champion that is Todd Bowles. Back in the early 2000s, there was a hockey team in Tampa called the Tampa Bay Lightning. They had a lot of good young talent, but really didn't know how to win and prosper in a league that was very competitive at that time. They had a coach who was pretty much a button-down guy, John Tortorella. Play your fundamentals, do your job, and everything will work out. Well, about a quarter of a way through the season, the players were getting fed up because they felt like they were being held back. They felt like they weren't being allowed to use all of their skills. And at that point, that coach went from what most people would call a conservative style coach to an aggressive coach. And he did it by using the moniker, safe is death. And he preached that to the team. Quit playing safe, play aggressive, trust your skills, trust your guts, trust your instinct, and most of all, trust the plans we have in play to be successful. That team, ladies and gentlemen, took the safe is death moniker, plastered it in the locker room, put it on their fucking practice jerseys, and went on to win the fucking Stanley Cup. Okay? We went from a team that had no balls to a team that laid it out every shift, every time on the ice, every hit, every shot, every pass. You, Todd Bowles, you have a young team. You don't have a veteran team. You don't have a Tom Brady grabbing the fucking wheel of the ship and going, steady as she goes, boys, I got you. It's a different league than it was 2 years ago, let alone 4 years ago. Right now, we are seeing teams that go for it on fourth down, go for 2-point conversions just because, why the fuck not? And the league has become more aggressive. Every rule change has been to help the offense be more aggressive and put up more points. Every policy, every video, every clip, every piece of content is offense, offense, offense. And where we are going, well, if we just keep the game close, we might be able to pull it out, which fine, that will work if you don't forget you have testicles in the fourth quarter. If when the time is running down, you don't forget that these are grown-ass men up here who are prideful, who will have to go back, whether we like it or not, to their social media and hear the shit from the fans. Why are you going to let Todd not let you play all the way? Why are you not playing balls out? Why ain't you laying it on the line? Why aren't you blitzing? Todd. I need more Sweeney Todd than I need Todd from shipping and receiving. I need a killer. I need instincts like the guy has in Detroit. Yes, Todd, I need you to bite some fucking kneecaps and on your way up to the fucking head, maybe take out a couple fucking belly shots, rib shots, and then go for the throat. There is nothing wrong, Todd. There's not one person on this screen, and I would venture to say watching this or watching any Bucs game that would be pissed at you for going down swinging. Okay? We don't need Glass Joe from the boxing video game standing in the corner with his hands up over his face blocking shots. We need someone coming out throwing haymakers. And you have the guys. You have the horses. You have a quarterback who has more chutzpah than anybody in the league. And the best part about this, Todd, everyone in that locker room believes in that quarterback. So how in one instance can we have this aggressive offense that's putting up massive points and you are seeing this and going, this is not the way. We shall be conservative and we shall play with it close to the vest. Todd, you're 4-6. You're 3 games back. We just saw 2 teams last night that we beat go toe-to-toe and arguably one of the better Thursday night games in quite a long time. You didn't hear any of the announcers. You didn't hear Al Michaels. You didn't hear Kirk Herbstreit. You didn't hear Linda Hertog or whatever the fuck her name is go, well, this game would have been better if they were less aggressive. You are in a sport to coach a team, but you are also here to keep the people coming back. Okay? If I'm in a rock and roll band and I sell out a theater, but every time they call for an encore, I say, fuck you, they're not coming back next tour, bro. They're going to get tired of getting beat at the end of the game. They're going to get tired of watching Baker basically lay every ounce of his soul and body on the line. And then just to have the team go, well, we're going to back off a little bit here and play some cushion or some prevent defense. Dude, prevent defense worked back in the 70s and 80s and maybe even the early 90s when offenses weren't as advanced and as meticulous as they are now. You have guys, Todd Bowles, like Sean McVay, who grew up with crayons in their hands, dissecting and drawing up fucking offensive plays and dissecting defense. You've got these young crop of coaches, your LaFleurs, all these guys who are gurus at creating offense. And what are you doing? You're holding on to the same shit that got you run the fuck out of the New York Jets organization. And in Tampa, especially now with social media, you can't hide. Okay? Back in the 90s or the early 2000s, people like AJ or Slick or myself were mad at the team. We told our friends, we told our wife, we told our girlfriend. Now we get to tell the world, and the world can hear it. And I understand there's some major publications out there. We're not going to name them because we don't want to call anybody out. They all do a great job. But we know some publications can't exactly get on here and call, for lack of a better expression, and you'll have to excuse me, a spade a spade. It is what it is, bro. We see this, okay? I'm a fat dude drinking coffee going, it's 3rd and 8, and you're playing 8 yards up, and you're wondering why they're getting the first down. I watched this team on 3rd and 2 play 5+ yards cushion coverage and then be fucking boggled how they were able to convert. Dude, if you're aggressive and you lose, we will embrace you as a fighter. If you're a pussy and you lose, we embrace you as a pussy. It's that fucking simple. Now, if people got a problem with me saying that, cool. I don't give a shit. Also, I can feel the comments, or I can feel the people going, "Oh yeah, you're real tough behind the camera, bro." send me a message. I'll send you a plane ticket. I don't care if you're Todd Bowles, Warren Sapp. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna call it as I see it. I'm not gonna get too overwhelming passionate. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna get upset. But when I can predict that we give the ball back with a minute or less, and they're gonna score, and every time I say they're gonna do it, you trot out that defense and they do it. At what point do you quit doing the same shit over again, expecting a different result? We know what that's the definition of. Okay? Yeah. You have got, Slick said this perfect in the pregame show. Why are we even bothering with KJ Britt trying to cover? If you have a pass situation that you think they're going to pass, have him be the blitzer. Please. Can you do that for me? But all this said, we can get into minutia and all that, but what it boils down to, Todd, don't think we forgot. You were anointed, not hired. And that plays a lot in people's minds, okay? You didn't go through a hiring process. You were handed the keys to a playoff team. And yes, you've kept them in the playoffs. Yes, you won the division. But you've done it on the brink of disaster the last 2 years, and now that brink has been shoved all the way up to our doorstep. It's week 10 going into week 11, and the Buccaneers basically have to win out. And in order to do that, Todd, it's going to take a little adjustment in philosophy. If nothing else, at the end of the game. Bro, you have got some of the best pass rushers, or at least containing quarterback in the league. You've got Levante David, who, yes, has maybe lost a little bit of a step, but let's face it, it's like going from a Ferrari to a Porsche. He's still got it. I know. Injuries. Bro, this 4-game losing streak, they've only been missing 2 players, Savassier Dennis and Jamel Dean. And as Slick and AJ pointed out in the pre-show talk, y'all hated Jamel Dean when they were 4-2. So quit looking for reasons to blame it other than what's right there in front of your face. Everybody who watched that game, when they got the ball back, ain't not one of you went, "Oh, we got this." I know you didn't, because if you did, you're fucking high. Okay? We all watched the team fall apart, and that's where I could get concerned. Am I going to lose sleep if they don't make the playoffs or whatever? No, but here's what I will lose sleep on. If the guys whose contracts are coming up going, "I don't want a coach that doesn't believe in me. I don't want to be there," that factors in. And if the players quit believing in the coach, the fans quit believing in the players, and then you know what happens. The Buccaneers don't make no money, and then those little Glazer guys get involved, and they're going to come in and do something stupid, like hire a Greg Schiano or somebody stupid. So, Todd, you've got yourself the offensive coordinator you need. Arguably one of the best offenses in the league, at least top 5. Mm-hmm. And you can't win? You can't win with a top 5 offense, bro. That's a problem. Now, good news. Buccaneers fans, you get to watch the game all weekend. College, pros, Monday night, you ain't got to worry. No Bucs to worry about. That's a good thing. But what you do got to worry about is if the Falcons keep winning, we're looking at wild card. Now, go back and check out the standings and tell me which of these teams that are in competition for the wild card spot right now, will Todd Bowles play prevent defense and end the game against? And here's the thing. I don't want to go to the playoffs if we're going to go ahead and tie the game with a minute left and you're just going to shit the bed and let them march down the field and win it. I would rather not make the playoffs and get those 4 extra draft positions moved up. That's me. So before I jump off here, before I get too many people in their feelings, Todd Bowles, you have the tools. I don't want to hear shit about injuries. The offense has had more crucial injuries than the defense. And guess what? Oh, they're top 5 and you're bottom 3. The buck stops with you, no pun intended. But if you keep this shit up, the criticism is only going to be aimed at you. I'm not going to blame the players. They're doing what they're told. I will blame the players for missed tackles. I will blame the players for false starts. Fine. But if you remember last game, what did the Bucs have for penalties? Like 4 or 5? Yeah. So it's not penalties. It's not injuries. It's choking in the last minutes of the game. Go back and look. Ask yourself this, and I don't have the stat in front of me. So if one of you want to dive into this later in the show, look at the Buccaneers record this year in games decided by 1 score or less.
Damn.
It's not good. And that comes down to finishing. Anybody can start a game. Anybody can play a game. But it takes a team and a leader to finish it. So in the immortal words of our boys over there at Konami Games and the legendary video game, finish them or you're finished. That's all I got today, guys. Make sure you check us out, BucsReport.com. Check it out, Bucs Report across all social media platforms. You don't even have to worry. Just put in Bucs Report. And shout out to all of our new followers there on Blue Sky. Much obliged. Glad to see the interaction. Fuck you, Elon. And Zuckerberg, we don't go live on your shit anymore because you don't let me say fuck. With that said, huge shout out to all the guys that made it down to meet up with Coach Slick when he came over from the UK to visit Tampa. Sorry he had to deal with hurricanes and elections and God knows what else he had to deal with, but we all appreciate the help. We all appreciate the support. Shout out to AJ, always putting out the good content. Shout out to all the podcasts that we deal with and host and help and follow. Again, take time to listen to what these guys are saying. We've been on here complaining about cushion and zone coverage for over a year. And now that the rest of the media is catching up, we'll just say this before I jump off. To all you people that didn't listen to us a year ago, but are now listening to the other outlets, go fuck yourself.
I love it. And Slick, I'm glad that he brought up the simple fact that you and I have been talking about this for years. Because
the cushion coverage was since me and you been together, brother.
Yes, and I want to show people this.
What's the year of the show?
Like 2022. It's been some years. Slick, I want to show them something. Here's the evidence of the fuckery of what we were saying. And Bowles, as you just said, as the dude just said, if we are 3 guys who are not even on that level can spot your bullshit, that's when we call that a problem. So let's take a look, fellas.
Trout to the end zone.
We welcome you here to Tampa Bay. 2 timeouts Atlanta in a tie game. And what a catch! Kyle Pitts down the sideline.
You're going to need a chunk, and I would expect at some point Bowles to blitz.
Here's Jennings.
Cushion.
What did they do? They all converted fucking first downs.
And we lost. We lost all those games, ladies and gentlemen. All those games that you saw, we lost. And those weren't just from this season. This was from last season. What happens when you give a quarterback time, when you don't have a consistent pass rush? It's called points. And points lead to L's. And this is what we have been saying for years now. Now, for people out there of the world who wants to jump on the bandwagon, yes, fuck you, because Slick, there have been a few people on here that was in my shit on Twitter, and earlier this year I kept saying this bullshit is gonna catch up on us. No, you just want to be disagreeable. He's got it. Now look at us. And then all of a sudden, Slick, they're jacking my shit. Now it's, I can't believe Bowles would do this. I'm like, you don't say. Even though I fucking said this already, fuck you. Don't. And I've called them out. I'm like, look, nah, don't be on the bandwagon now. First of all, I have a defensive-minded coach that I talk to all the time that's been to a championship that knows what the fuck he's doing. For some of those other guys, you were a washed-out player who didn't even get any burn. You barely played for the school. You didn't even play for the school that you said you played for. And I'm calling you out on your bullshit. And then there's a difference, Slick. You know this. There are some people who can play the game and know the game. It's very rare that a player has both ingredients. That's why they're great. So did I play at the highest level? No. But have I coached? Yes. And football is football. If you don't know the basics, then shut the fuck up. I said this to Slick already. When I told people on Twitter that in order for a zone to be good, you got to have a pass rush. Really? Yeah. That's why that's how we won't win in the Super Bowl. Yeah, we had two guys called Shaq Barrett, JPP. We also had Ndamukong Suh. We had Vita Vea. Oh, and then here's another thing, Slick. We also had an offensive-minded coach that had the balls to go for shit. So if the defense did fuck up, the offense bailed them out. You know, that's what you do as a team, as a brotherhood. I got you.
You found in that season that it wasn't always the defense and it wasn't always the offense. It was a mixture of, like, occasionally it was the defense, or the defense would have parts of the game where they stopped and the offense capitalized, right? So they worked in tandem. Mm-hmm. You're not seeing that now. You'll see, like, the defense make a stop. I'm not saying they don't make stops. They do make stops. They'll make a stop, and then the offense can't capitalize it. Now, I'm not going to piss on this offense because this offense has been the best I've seen it since 2002. So I'm not going to piss on this. I'm not pissing on this offense whatsoever. The fact that it's Liam Cohen's first year, and I want to add this that a lot of people don't realize. You got to remember he's from the McVay tree.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Anyone coming from there has turned into pretty decent head coaches. Now, we can all sit there and pick holes in what other people are doing, but right now, what we have is a very creative coach. And the teams in this league have offensive-minded coaches. For the most part, right? I think the Bills are the only anomaly right now.
Tomlin, the Steelers.
What's their record right now, though?
They're like 7-3 or something. They're really good. But you want to know why? And mind you, but they're switching quarterbacks from here and there. But here's another thing. Tomlin also does not, like Belichick, he doesn't put his players in uncompromising positions. Tomlin goes, what you do best. And he's playing his part. He's a defensive-minded coach. There's a reason why the Steelers are doing good on the defensive side. He's holding his end of the bargain up. Robert Saleh, the Jets' former coach, the defense was fine. The offense was ass. Now look at them. They're a joke on both sides now. The defense is still running on fumes. But again, our point is, Buck fans, when you are not doing your job, and that video should show you, two of those games were from last year. There's a habit. That's a bad habit. If it doesn't work, fix it. And Slick said the realest shit. If you know that you can't be scared of the big plays if it hasn't happened yet. That's called fear. You're believing in something that hasn't even happened yet. So in a way, you're manifesting a losing mentality when you think of that way. As Slick would say again, as a player, I would not want to play for a coach like that. Dude said it. Why the fuck would I do that, coach, and you don't believe in me? That's how you lose the locker room. That's what happened to Raheem Morris. The team stopped believing in him, and that's when the blowouts were coming. That's when the embarrassed losses happened.
I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to look at
Bucs fans.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think the thing you've got to look with Coach Bowles is when you do things like I'm not going to say it's changing the scheme because I wouldn't say it's changing the scheme, but I'm saying when you make bold decisions in your coverage structure, there's a reason he's calling in his own mind, right? There's a reason that he's gone from being this man press, high pressure, disguise, 3-4 defense. That's changed. Right now, we're a heavy blitzing, 3-4 zone defense, which is a big change. It's a change because there's no press and there's no man. Now, we do sprinkle in man, but we don't use man very often. There's a reason for that. And I'm not saying I don't know the reason because I'm not in that locker room. He's got to find a way to get, because this zone coverage isn't working and we ain't seen enough of man to turn around and go, okay, man's fucking terrible. I can see why he went down that road, right? If he plays man for a fucking, like, a heavy man game and it turns to shit, I don't think I wouldn't be opposed to turn around him and saying he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I'd turn around and go, now I see why we just gave him fucking 50 points. Of course, that's why he didn't want to do that shit. Completely get it. He just wanted to narrow it down to fucking 30. Fair play. I get that. But now he's got to find a different way. But I think the thing that irritates me, and I think it irritates me because this is part of Jason Light as well. And I don't like going against Jason Light because he's done a lot for the team. But why aren't we going after guys that we're in need of? Surely Coach Bowles can see the limitations of this team and go, right, like I said, there's a reason we call zone coverage. There's a reason for it. It means there's somebody on this defense or some bodies, human beings on this defense that can't cover a man. Just straight up can't. That's what my intelligence tells me. It's either he's retarded or he's got a couple of guys that he does not trust in man coverage whatsoever. So he's willing, and this is the crazy part, he is willing to put the rest of the team at risk in play in zone. So I would ask Coach Bowles this. What is your success rate in man that you've played this season? If it is higher than the success rate that you played in zone, you need to really have a hard think tonight and the rest of the nights that are going to come before this bye week is done and go, why am I still trying to do the same old shit?
Why am I trying to do the same old shit? And why do I continue to put my players in bad situations where that's where the injuries happen of concussions because people like Tyke Smith and Zion are too busy trying to run up and tackle. Guys, we've said this before, playing corner is the second hardest position in football because it's a thinking game. And also remember, if as a corner, it ain't like you're 6'4", 241 pounds. You are typically between 5'10" to 6'1", 185 pounds. So usually you got to try to tackle. You got to know where the receiver's going, which route they're running. And then what happens if a screen is up? Now you got to try to break through the tackle of a lineman or a tight end. And you don't think that takes a physical and mental weakness off of you? Because at the same time, some of those guys do make business decisions. And I know they don't want to hear that. But in reality, if someone is 330 pounds coming at you and you're going to try to make that tackle, you want to live the play the next down. So it makes things much difficult. And for your backups, I just want you to – even starters, sometimes just playing basic football. You know what I think, Slick? Sometimes coaches get too far away from basic shit, not realizing you don't always have to do that. That's what was happening with Gruden under Chris Sims. Certain plays get too complex, and if it takes away from your guys just to play football, simplify it. That's all you want to do.
One thing I can relate to that because the one thing that we have in the UK, you have to water down football to a point that a British person who may have never even looked at a playbook in his life, no X's and O's, no nothing, zero, doesn't know what it looks like, just watched football on TV and went, that's fucking cool, I want to play it, right? That's the kind of guys, that's our entry-level dudes. We usually find to get some guys that got athleticism as well, and we build that. So you have to take your playbook and water it down. And I say this is where British coaches are extremely talented. We are able to take, I'm not saying an NFL playbook, but a playbook and water it down and get a team prepared within 2 months to go and play a game. To take
and
guys
that's
who've never even seen ever seen a football playbook, a football diagram in their entire lives. To take that and go, this is how you do this. We're really
and that's
good.
a good thing.
Yeah.
But it also it's an ego. It's you guys are being you have humility, and it's okay to make things simple. Sometimes over here across the river,
there's a phrase: "Kiss, keep it simple, stupid."
Keep it. I like that. Keep it simple, stupid, and you don't have to, because when you sometimes make things too complex, if that person can't do that, then you're just creating frustration.
Coaches love to kind of swing their dicks a little bit. And it happens in the British game too. Mm-hmm. There are guys who can talk football that could confuse me, right? And I'm being honest with all the jargon and the language. But when you really sit down and you go, show me what you mean, and they'll draw it up and they'll show you, oh, you mean this. And they're like, how did you just make what I said sound so simple? And I'm like, because that's how you have to teach them. You got to teach them like they don't know, because they don't. You can't say strong side, left side, play side. You can't say that. You have to explain to them. Play side means when the play is coming to their direction. That's the play side. The field side is the side with the biggest gap. What do you mean by that? Well, it's where the ball is spied. And you do things like that. You can't just say, well, the play side corner has to do this, 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 and this. And the field side corner has to do this, this, and this. And expect them to know, because they don't know what a fucking play side corner is or a field corner is. So you need to teach them what that is. And you build that with building blocks. It's just corner and left corner, right corner. And left corner corner's always this corner, and this corner always does this job. And you build upon it. But
I like that. Slick. It's the same thing that you know me, I love my man press. But when people think, okay, man press is just about standing in front of the receiver, no.
Oh, no. There's so much more technique to it.
There's so much, and I tell people,
it scares the shit out of me, because I only want to use press if I know my guys can fucking execute it. Because all corners think they can do it, because it's a moment they get to be physical, right? Corners don't really get to be physical in a game unless they're making a tackle.
Yes.
This is a moment where they get to, the better part of the word, have their way with a wide receiver. It's taking the power back. So every corner from up and down the country in the US, UK, Spain, wherever in the world will want to press. I know, because when I play corner, I wanted to press. It ain't fucking easy. And you can't do it all the time because it's quite tiring. But it is so fucking useful. And there are so many different ways to press. People don't realize that. There's off press, there's right in your face press, there's inside press, outside press, there's bump and run. There's so many different ways to press, and there's so many, the techniques in every single one of them is different.
And I love inside press, because inside, for me, I want to disrupt I feel like when you're doing inside, you can disrupt the timing of the route so much easier, and you're pushing them to where they'll stumble. Outside, to me, that's a risk, because that outside shit, if you try to push to the outside and I swing your arm and I go in, now I got to try to turn around and catch you. So yes, guys, this is why when I say jam, when I say that, I'm talking different techniques, because even like you said, sometimes a bump can get you cooked, because Zion got cooked like that, because he did a little bump and he tried to run, but Bates against Baltimore ran through him because he saw past the bullshit. So for me personally, I like to do more.
He's going to bump in this situation, because a bump, the whole bump and run thing is you give it a little tap that it's supposed to put them off guard. At the NFL level, I don't think bump and run really works.
No,
I think it's going to be a little bit more delayed than that. You've got to have you've got to have a hand. You've got to open the gate. You've got to have the hand up and then tilt and then open the gate up and then go with them. I think you've got to have that. You can't just tap and run away. It just doesn't. Personally, I don't think it works unless you're in a a coverage where you've got someone underneath coming. So let's say you had like a cover 3, and then you got someone going into the flats, and then you're going deep. That shit might work because you can bracket to a degree there, so you can get away with that bump and run.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, Slick, how about we just, guys? We're about to give you some football talk. We're gonna bring up plays. So you want to bring your defensive scheme out, Slick?
Let's see if I can get this going.
My man.
So it's the first time we're doing this, so you got to bear with us. We're just trying to figure the best out.
Take your time, guys. Look, we're giving you access to what it's like to actually coach and what schemes and how things work in football and what you can do.
Can you see that?
I can see it, brother.
All right. Okay. So we have got 11 personnel. We got a sidecar running back. We have 1 tight end. We have a slot, and we have 2 wide receivers just outside the numbers. We've gone into a 3-4 defense here. So I got my robber.
Mm-hmm.
I call this guy a jack. There's different terminology for different guys. I've got my free safety on an outside technique on the tight end, and I've got my other safety on an inside technique on the slot. So, AJ, tell me what you want me to run, and then we'll go off the top of that. So, what do you want to see? What pressure do you want to see?
I want to see. This is what I would do. I want you to load the box. I want you to do man press on the Z. I want you to do a zone, not a zone, but a minor cushion coverage on the Z on this side. I want, a little bit. I want that safety. I want the safety, the free safety, the free safety. Yeah, load the box with the free safety.
Well, you want to load the box with a free safety, so we're going to put him here
because he's going to blitz, and the linebacker right there is going to bail out in coverage.
Okay.
That's
so. What do you want? What do you want? Do you want single high?
In the middle of the field. In the middle.
Field.
Yep. In the middle.
Okay.
Yep.
On this nickel here, I'm just moving him around now. If you can see him, where do you want him aligned up? Because
I want him lined up. I want him lined up on that receiver. Yep.
Okay. Inside.
Yep. Inside.
Okay. And then this
because
gentleman
I want him to. I want him. He's going to blitz.
Okay. So you want the R to blitz, my robber.
Yes.
This guy here. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
No, not that guy. The other side.
Oh, the other one. Yeah, you want the other guy to blitz. Okay, cool.
Yep. There you go. And the safety, the free safety is going to blitz as well. And then the middle linebacker is going to look like he's blitzing, but he's going to drop back.
Is he going to blitz for a gap, or is he going to blitz wide?
He's going to blitz for a gap.
Okay, which gap do you want him to go through? A, B, or C?
The A gap.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay. So that's this is a blitz pattern. Okay. So what coverage do you want me to run?
I would say Tampa 2.
You want a Tampa 2? You can't Tampa 2 out of this because of the way you got.
Okay.
You got to have 2 high safeties to do Tampa 2. So I can give you cover 2.
Yes, give me cover 2.
Okay. Do you want the robber going into the flats?
Yes. Just be on the safe side. Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's our coverage. So let's go with the next bit of fun. What do you want the wide receivers to do? So let's go with the X first.
The X is going to do a straight go route.
Okay.
The Z is going to do a curl back. A comeback. Sorry.
Oh, comeback.
And,
okay.
and the
1 second, I've just got to get that right.
Yep, and then the slot is going to do a quick out in the middle.
You want him? Oh, so you mean an in?
Yes, an in.
Okay. Tight end.
The tight end is going to just run up the seam.
Okay. And then what do you
The
want?
running back is blocking. The running back is blocking.
Running back is blocking. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in this scenario, I would say your most open guy off the first instinct is your slot receiver.
Okay.
I think dependent, and then it will be the Z. It all depends on how quickly that robber arrives. That robber arrives, he might be able to pick this off, and this could be a 6.
Mm-hmm.
If the free safety is spot drop, the other corner who's guarding the X, if he's spot dropping, it could be wide open for the X.
Mm-hmm.
If he's staying tight to him, and I play what I call it man and less.
Okay.
So he, in my eyes, he is locked on that man unless he does something different. And the rule is, if he breaks in or out within 5 yards,
mm-hmm.
he's locked in on that guy. If he
Agreed.
breaks in or out, he leaves. If he breaks in and out, he goes, that's not my job anymore. He goes to look for work.
Mm-hmm.
So for him, in this particular case, if he's smart, he still stays stuck to the X because the Y is so far away. He's not going to play this ball. He won't be able to play it anyway.
Right.
But if
that's what I wanted. I wanted the X to be jammed.
What was doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I want the X to jam. I want the X to jam him.
You want to X. You want him
I
to
want
try
him.
and
I would want the corner to jam that. Yeah. I would want the corner to jam the X.
Okay. But he's got deep coverage. Remember.
He does. However, I'm going to have as much confidence that one of these blitzers are going to get to the quarterback before he can even look that way.
Okay, so I've got him jamming, push him outside.
Yes, push him to the outside.
And then he's going to try and go with him.
Yes. Okay. My biggest thing is I'm looking for that safety or this person. And the reason why I want him to go to the A gap is because I want the running back to be so focused on getting this guy right here that this leaves him wide open for the free safety to make the tackle. Because with Vita and Cansey, if they are in at the same time, two of those linemen are going to have to eat up Vita, and that's going to get that A gap more than likely open.
Okay. Shall I show you what I would put against this, and then we'll just look at that?
Yes, please.
All right, man. Let's see what we can get cooking. I'll keep your plays out there, and I'll shuffle people around, and I'll keep your offense out. Oh, sorry. That one's supposed to stay in. There we go. And this is my defense. This is nothing that Coach Bowles does. This is just how I would attack if I saw this diagram laid up in front of me.
Okay.
So my first thing is I will stick with that, but I will move that there. He is going to get a piece of the tight end just to delay him.
Okay.
I'm going to move the free safety back to here. And I'm going to put him there. I'm going to move that there and there. And I'm going to blitz. Now, I know what you're doing because I get to see it. So it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to overload. In fact, no, you know what? Let's have a bit of fun with this because Coach Bowles doesn't like doing this shit, so I'll do it. A bit of confusion there. As for a coverage, I will probably pull this guy back a little bit because he's got his safety help is so far away. I don't want to lose my guy.
Mhm.
So he's going to stay back a little bit. I'm still trusting him, but I'm going to keep him at about 5. This guy is going to be underneath that, and then he's going to work. Sorry, my mistake there. I moved that there. Now, the biggest flaw in my work here is the coverage I'm playing is... Hang on, that's wrong. There we go. It's 1, 2. Let's go. I'm going to move this guy. And he's going to play flat.
Mm-hmm.
Sit here. This guy's going to go here, and this guy's going to go here. So the biggest flaw in my defense is the F.
Mm.
The F is wide open on this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm counting on my overload pressure to take advantage of this.
And maybe if your safety right here, the strong safety, sees that he might get up a little closer at the last minute and be able to make the stop right there.
He'd be able to limit the play and not give up big yards.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's look at this from a completely different standpoint because I love defense. So let's talk a little bit more about, and I'm going to keep the same blitzers out. Unless you want to change anything up. Let's
okay.
I don't really do that. Okay, I'll keep these guys.
I actually like when the Bucs play nickel. I think they're better. I think with Tyke,
well, the Robert here is basically a Tyke Smith.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all I've done is moved one of my other guys. So this would be like I've subbed out one of our pass rushers, like a JTS, and put in a nickel. I kept a safety out there. But let's look at different coverages versus this scheme because I think this is really telling. Give me 2 guys you want to blitz on this, just as this setup.
2 guys I want on this one.
Yeah. Any 2 guys, it doesn't matter. We're going to keep the same 2 guys up, and I'm going to put in different coverages and just see.
I want the middle. I want the Mike linebacker blitzing.
A or B?
B.
Okay. That means you want the end to go this way?
Yes.
Okay, and then hang on, I pressed the wrong button there. Okay. Is that the only blitz you want? Or do you want anyone else?
That's the only blitz because then I'm not gonna lie. I want all my corners to play man jam press coverage.
So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to do. I'm going to one better you. I'm going to go through a couple of common coverages. So let's go with the first one that everyone knows: cover 3.
Yes.
And there's your cover 3. What is the biggest weakness of this coverage right now?
I honestly think the middle is going to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
That middle is going to be wide open.
How dangerous would it be if I took this guy and moved him there?
Very dangerous. That's a touchdown.
Absolutely.
That's a touchdown.
It might not be a touchdown, but it definitely will gain 10 plus yards. And it's all about where guys are set up.
Mm-hmm. I say touchdown just because what if the safety bites and doesn't see anything and he worries and it's football situational, because what if the X gets
Yeah,
beat?
but you're also relying on the athletes as well, right?
Yep.
So that makes a huge difference. So let's go with another one that everyone knows, and they should know because it's the bread and butter of this organization. Actually, I've drawn that up a bit too wide. And then we'll go. I'll move him. What coverage is that?
That's a cover 4, isn't it?
It's cover 3. Sorry, it's cover 2. So you've got 2 deep safeties. Now you probably some of the colors are the same. So
yes,
you could have got confused with the X, but yeah, it's cover 2. So you got a flat route here. You got deep coverage there, deep coverage there, deep coverage. So you got flats here, you got an intermediate here, you got middle hole here, and then you got the other one here. You've got the other hook seam curl. You got hook seam curl here, hook seam curl there, middle hole, deep half, flat and flat. Right.
right.
We only blitzed one guy out of our three guys and a blitzer, right?
Right.
And this is my biggest point that I wanted to do, because let's take this out. And we're going to go in a man coverage now, because I think man's needed, because we need to see the difference, right?
Right.
So if I just get rid of that. Okay. So man coverage, all I'm going to do is click on a dude. So he's linked up with this guy. He's linked up with this guy. He's linked up with this guy. And I would say the middle linebacker is linked up with this guy. What does that allow you to do?
It allows you to at least cover the middle, and hopefully your front 4 can get a pass rush going. And it also keeps, it keeps your. You
can also blitz another guy, and you haven't lost anything. And you've still got over the top out with this guy. You've got over the top out with this guy, and you're able to basically blitz with this guy here, because everyone's got a person, right?
Right.
So you can blitz 2, and you haven't lost a damn thing. Now, what you do lose is, and you still got safety help. Okay, so I'm going to pull this guy back out. Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. Let's go there. Move him. Let's put them in a free stack. Okay. Now, this is the one I really want to talk about, because this is the one that a lot of people don't realize is almost a killer. I'm going to put these guys in cover 3, and we're going to have 2 blitzers. Okay. So I'm going to shuffle him out a little bit more, because he's got a guy. He can stay where he is, and we're going to send outside pressure. I'll move him a little bit there. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to send outside pressure. We're going to keep the same play up every single time. Oh, wrong button. Okay.
You got to send me this.
Okay. Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
All right. I'll try and get it to you.
Thank you. I need that shit. Yeah. I'm already thinking of my Einstein offensive plays. And
it looks clean as well, because it does straight lines and stuff. So it's quite helpful.
Damn
okay.
Right.
So we're blitzing 2, and we're going to go cover 3 as easy as you like.
Yeah.
As easy as you like. But what's the big problem with this coverage, AJ?
It can leave, I say personally, the outside can get open, in my opinion. Depending on, Yeah.
I agree, because this gentleman here has from here to here to cover.
Exactly.
Right? And that's straight up what his job is. So if this guy here decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to they have a little option route on this. Just delete his. I don't know. Bring him in and do that. Let's delete the tight ends move, right? We'll delete that. And then we're going to change his route just slightly, because if you saw this alignment and you're a tight end, quarterback's got to go do that.
Yes.
That Mike linebacker is never, ever going to get there. Now, the Mike linebacker is in a bad spot, so I'm going to put him in a little bit more helpful spot, more realistic of where he should be. But still, that's wide open.
He's still going to get some yards. He's still going to get yards.
The smart move here would be the J would bump him as he goes through for his blitz. So he'd clip him. That would allow a bit of time, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will work. So this is straight up cover 3. So, I mean, I don't have the... Can I do that? Yeah, let's see. Okay, so we've got cover 3. Let's get another one up. This is what cover 3 looks like. This guy has all of that. Now, his buddy next to him doesn't have quite as much. And this is the difference. You've got 3 at the bottom, 3 shallow coverages and 3 high coverages. Now, if you were to change this exact coverage structure, and just change it to cover 2, just to cover 2, simple change, the easiest change. But I'm not saying it's going to work. I think cover man might work. 2-man might even work even better.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of some of these. And we go with a Tampa. We just go with a simple Tampa 2. All right, let's see how that looks. We're gonna go. This guy's gonna come down. I don't like how it hit. I don't like his alignment. I'm gonna have to change that. That's a Bowles alignment there.
Yeah.
Moving where I'd like him. There we go.
Yep.
So he's going to come down and get a piece. He's going to come down and get a piece of him, and then he's going to drop back down. So he's going to try and delay the route, allowing his free safety to get over. So he's going to bump him purposely. His whole job is to bump him away. This guy's doing exactly the same thing. He's in the flats. Still, this linebacker gets to eat. Now he's got a bit of a problem, but he's only open for this, but this is the soft spot of the zone. Everything else is pretty much covered.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what coverage you put in there, but here's a rule that we didn't think of. Makes this what proves your point, AJ. If you went with a man coverage, that's all you did. You can't play man with this gentleman here who's blitzing. You just can't. When you play a man, the Mike can't play man on the Y. So what we're going to have to do is change up the coverage structure, because the blitzing pattern, just because of the situation we're in. So what we're going to have now is him. Sorry, give it that one there. He is linked up with him. He is linked up with him. He is linked up with him.
Yep.
He is. You can still get the other guys to do it, but this guy's linked up with him. This guy, you playing 2-man right now. This guy can still blitz. This guy can still blitz. We can still send this guy. You just change who's blitzing. And then the biggest issue here is probably this F. But you could get away with playing cover 1. For the reason being is you could have a rule in place. If you're ever in this situation, if the F goes in.
Yes.
Let me get if the F goes in, this guy gets him. If the F goes out, this guy gets him. And there you go. You still get the same pressure, the same everything you want. With man coverage, you still have one other guy who can just sit and read. And what's this guy going to do? He's going to sit there, he's going to take this, and he's going to go there, and he's going to go, this is where the danger is.
Yep.
And he probably won't do it quite like that, but... So, yeah, that's us chopping up what different types of coverages look like. Is there anything you want to see, AJ?
Not at this point. I'll show one more play on my screen, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. But I just wanted to show one offensive thing that maybe, and then I would love to see your defensive expertise on this and show me what you would do. That was really good, by the way, though. Good shit.
It's cool to have that little kind of chalkboard and
because you know me, I love running spread. So this is it right here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So is this a you got a running back?
I'm all about the spread. Yeah, the running back option, he can either block or he can block and roll out.
Okay.
Or if they don't load the box, I'll change it to a HB draw up the gut. But the reason why I have
this is kind of written like an RPO.
Yeah.
What's the trigger for the RPO? What's the QB looking at that tells him that it's whether that, because that's what a lot of people don't realize how an RPO works. How an RPO works is the quarterback gets the ball and there's a certain read that he's been given. Just one thing. It might be, for example, Shepard. There might be a nickel on him. If the nickel's inside, I'm playing pass. If the nickel's outside, I'm playing pass. If the nickel's inside, I'm playing run. For the sake of argument. Something as simple as is there anything like that in it, or is it just intuition?
Intuition. But I'm also looking at the certain coverage. If I also for Evans, I think he would eat on this route because McMillan and Palmer with their speed, especially Palmer, I want them to take a corner and a safety. And I think McMillan, if he can buy enough time where the safety, he can get past his corner and the safety has to just keep an eye. And that's where Evans will go off with his out route running. He still can do that because we don't need him to march down the field per se. Yeah. But I think he will eat off of this type of play because of his size and hands. Okay.
I would go 3-4. I would probably only blitz one.
Yes.
No, I'll blitz two. I'll blitz one of the middle linebackers. I'll blitz one of the edge defenders. I'll probably blitz the one that's next to him would look like he was guarding Evans. Come and get it. Look at the end of the day, I get to see you play. You know, I wouldn't know this was going to happen in a game, right? I'm just
right.
I could give you a defense and you'll find a way to beat it. You'll give me an offense and I'll find a way to beat that. It's easy when it's been shown to you, right? That's the magic of this. I'd probably go too high. I'd probably go Tampa on this.
Okay. I see that.
I go Tampa only because, and not many people blitz out of Tampa, but with a 3-man line, you can get away with it. You can get away with it a little bit more, but yeah, man, it's a solid play design because it forces different things. Like I said, I get to see you play, so I could say I could go for an overload blitz to Evans' side because no one's going that way, which means the only guy that's going to pick up Shepard is the nickel that I'm going to have on him and the other linebacker, which will be Levante David, and then I'm going to send the dime backer and KJ Britt on the other side. But I know what you're doing. Yeah. It's not that simple. Life is never that simple. Realistically, if I looked at if I was just playing against something let's go with the spread, right? If I was going against spread, right. I'd probably only blitz one guy. It'd probably be KJ Britt, and everyone else would stay in coverage. What coverage would I use? I'd probably go over Tampa 2 because a Tampa 2 gives me a little bit more versatility. It means my flats are guarded instantly, and it means they're going to get a delay on a McMillan potentially and a Palmer if they can. Now they're playing 4 yards off, so they're going to let him get up to him, and then he's going to get a little shove. It's more like a bump rather than it's a jam and reroute. It's not a full on press. I'm holding you at the line. I'm trying to push your guys inside.
I can dig it. Okay,
so that my safeties don't have to travel so far.
I like it. I like it, and thank you for dissecting that. That's all I wanted to get into that. I'll let you go on this one though, guys. But thank you guys for checking out Bucs Report. As always, we appreciate it. We're here. We speak our minds. As you can see, we know our shit. My man was dissecting my offense. I'm late in defense. Now I got to learn a little more. I got to, get back on reading defense better. But I can do that. I will do that. But guys, as always, thank you so much for checking us out. And as always, continue to check us out. Check out It's About Buck and Time on my YouTube channel and AJ Turn Up on my TikTok lives. As always, though, great talking to you. Go Bucs. Slip. I'll holler at you later on, brother. Enjoy your bye week. This is our mental health week.
Take care, man. I love that. I'll see you soon, brother.
Mental health week.
Okay, guys, that's pretty much the end of the show, but I'm going to run through a few comments. Liam is a great OC. Absolutely. I really like what we got with him. Bowles better get fired this year. It looks that way. Unless he turns this shit around, which he has to do. Like, he can't skate no more. Bucs better not lose to the Giants next week. They got to sort that shit out. Straight up. It's got to be done. It's not surprising that mediocre to average quarterbacks have strong games against Bowles and Bowles defense. I mean, you'd think they'd struggle, but when you play simplistic cushion coverage zone defense, they'll find a way over a course of a game. Do I think the Bucs can run the table? I am a deluded Bucs fan that think we will do whatever it takes. Will it really happen? I don't know. I don't think it will. I think we'll probably pip 2 games. I hope not. I hope the Falcons have a worse season than this, but I'm hoping on another team, and I don't want to do that. So I want to just hope on this team. But it seems unlikely. With the track record, we really would have to turn it around. But on that note, Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3, go Bucs!
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. When you get old in life, things get taken from you. That's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. 1/2 a step too late or too early, you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, Every minute, every second.